Hello, welcome to Falcon Blues TV. So as we said, new location for today. I'm with Callum and we're, big boss screen as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some proper analysis with big screens to save me having to do a shitload of editing as well. Just all about the Chelsea game really, wasn't it? Which is another game of 2 halves for Everton, but what a fucking second half, mate.
Yeah, it's interesting, wasn't it? I don't think anyone's seen that coming really after the first half. A few people fell asleep in the first half.
I think, to be honest with you, the second half I think a lot of people thought damage limitation more than anything. It's like, we've just been tonked in that first half. It can only get worse.
We were lucky really to come in 0-0 after that first half, obviously the chances that they had. Pickford kept us in the game and whatever, so yeah, lucky to go in 0-0 and then obviously must have been a roasting from Marco Silva.
Interesting to see to not find out actually what he said. He's probably going to keep his cards close to his chest in the end, isn't he? But no, well, let's go through all the tactics and everything. I'm sure you've got plenty to show us as usual. But right, we're going to dim the lights, get it all sorted, and we'll be reading in a sec. Alright, so Callum and I have decided to come behind the camera, and we've got the big screen now, so comments below, let us know how you think it's working, anything you want to change. But Callum, you've done this as usual, mate. The work you do is always excellent. So let's see another example of that. Let's go.
Cool. So starting 11 for Everton. What was your obviously first thoughts when you seen the lineup there?
I was good. I was pleased with it. I think Mina was the one weakness I thought out of the whole side. Gomez and Gaben linking up well. Richarlison and Bernard on the left and right has been a lot better as well. But defensively, I think obviously Zuma's had to come out at the side because he can't play against Chelsea.
Yeah.
And Mina hasn't had the greatest of games. He was quite poor at Millwall. But looking back on it, he had his best game against Chelsea when he first come in. So it's good to see. And I think he got better as the game went on, which was excellent to see. Definitely. Especially if we're going to be keeping Keane and Mina. We paid this money for Yerry Mina. He's got to be the one you're going to keep in the end. You can't be continually dropping him out the side to keep Kurt Zuma in.
Yeah, he was on loan. Yeah, I think the key things for me were obviously you had Mina coming back into the side, but obviously now you had Coleman back in.
Yeah. And
obviously I think we missed him massively in the Newcastle game in terms of that experience, that captaincy. Actually, no, he played, didn't he? He played. No, he didn't. Yeah, he missed out. Yeah, so
he was
with illness. So I think for a couple of them goals, especially the one where Rondon's got him behind John Joe Kenny, I think if he plays in that game, that goal probably doesn't happen. So it's great.
I don't think Kenny was actually warm for that game, to be honest with you. He could just come in so late.
Yeah.
And he's having to come in and start. And then Tom Davis had to come in off the bench as well.
Yeah.
It's all been a bit like mismatch, and you just sort of knew.
Yeah, I think when the going got tough, and obviously they changed their formation and went 2 up top with Rondon, I think he just bullied them and he gave them loads of problems with him and Perez up front. So good to have Coleman back in. For me, these two are key in this game for me, because you look at them going in a minute in terms of their team with Hazard and Alonso. But also as well with Gomez and Guy and how they're going to cope in terms of screening. So screening passes in to Hazard, who's going to try and drift into these areas and these pockets in here, in behind these two, and coming off the line. So that for me was obviously something that Silva would have been aware of, and something I would have been cautious to stop as well. And obviously then leading the line, Calvert-Lewin, for me, I've been an admirer of him. I know people don't really rate him. I think he's had unfair criticism, I think, in terms of playing in an underperforming team.
Yeah.
And is saying, well, he's not scoring goals, but if you look at the shots that he's had each game, he's averaging like 2 shots a game with the chances he's having created for him, and he scored a great goal against Newcastle. And for me, up top, he's doing a great job.
Yeah, I think with Calvert-Lewin, in my opinion, a lot of the time he's been played out of the position that he's been meant to play. I go back to Arsenal away, where he was played out wide on the right.
Yeah.
You can't do that when he's an attacking player. It's not that he's not that kind of player. He's a target man, plays on the shoulder, and playing up front now for Everton on his own, leading the line. It's a big frigging responsibility for the lad as well, and he's happy to take it.
Yeah, 100%. So that's them done, and then we go on to Chelsea. So main man, not the main man, but obviously Ross Barkley back in the team for them. So interesting reception, yeah. But obviously in that you've got Hazard, and for me before the game, these two are going to be key. Similar to Robertson and obviously Salah and Mane in the derby, that these are going to cause massive problems. I think David Luiz, always susceptible to a mistake and prone, an area where he's been out of form. And I think that these two players should have been targeted throughout the game, because I think for me, these two are stronger. He's very quick, he's experienced, knows his stuff, and for all the pace that he hasn't got, he makes up for an experience and know where to be.
I think I like that Rudiger and Bernard seem to bring their battle back to Goodison.
Yeah.
It was quite interesting, that.
So, and obviously then you had Higuain up top, sort of struggled a little bit in terms of Premiership, in terms of against the better teams. Kante, we all know about him, but obviously playing further forward. Pedro with his quickness, and obviously Hazard with obviously, you know, his unbelievable ability. But it's all about this guy again in terms of, you know, he's had criticism in terms of, is he quick enough for the Premiership? Is he taking the ball off Kante? They're pushing Kante further forward. But again, as we go on in a bit, it was again sort of the same setup that we had against these Goodison this time round, the same as what we had against Stamford Bridge, in terms of stopping Jorginho getting on the ball and playing into the thirds in here, because obviously his passing accuracy, when he does get on the ball and given time, he is fantastic at breaking lines. So we all know about Hazard, don't we, in terms of how good he is, and I just wanted to highlight in here in Hazard in terms of where he wants to pick up the ball, where he wants to drift into, where he wants to take players on. This was earlier on in the season against Huddersfield, albeit you'd say a lesser team, struggling for form, but this is something that Silva has been aware of in terms of picking the ball up here in behind Guy, in behind Gomez, and how he would stop that, and how he would stop the isolation in these wide areas of Coleman versus Hazard, because for me it's a mismatch in terms of his pace. And obviously then in this game with ourselves, these are the take-ons that he actually got into these positions and caused a problem. But again, you can see it's nowhere near as many as it was in this game.
It's odd seeing that when you look at how poor we were in that first half.
Yeah.
As well, you'd expect that to be a lot more. It's probably similar, like, you know, similar stats to Huddersfield away. But you think Hazard would have been taken, but he's never scored a Goodison.
No, seven games now, isn't it? Without a goal.
So you can imagine it's probably weighs on his mind a little bit. But then you would think that first half, how poor we were.
Yeah.
It must something worked for Everton. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We had a bit of lady luck, didn't we?
We might have been shite, but Chelsea didn't score.
Yeah, and we needed that. I think once, if they did score in that first half, I don't think we would have came back from it really.
No chance.
So this was just the attacking third in terms of the passes and where he was linking up, and we said before, didn't we, about Alonso and about Hazard and the areas that they like to obviously create overloads, and they like to combine in off the line, obviously combining these areas well with the likes of Higuain, Pedro coming in from the side, and even Barkley coming in as well. Obviously Jorginho would just sit in there. So these are the passes in the first half, so 23 in the final third, 19 successful, so quite a lot in that first half, which causes major problems on this side. And RICHARLISON and Coleman at the start, especially in the opening 10 minutes for me, didn't get to grips with it. They weren't quick enough, they were out of position, got caught out wide 1v1s to allow space in here for Hazard to run into, which we'll go on to in a second. So he's had 23 in there in the first, and he's finished then with the 36 to finish the game with. So sort of we did do a lot better in that second half, but he has obviously created a goal and opportunity there in the second half as well.
Where did that rank overall? Was he top?
He was one of the most influential players in the game. Him and Alonso was up there. I've got the stats somewhere, but yeah, in terms of passing combinations, they were one of the main two, especially in the final third. Barkley had a couple as well, but not in terms of the presence in terms of Hazard and Alonso and obviously around the penalty area. So as we go on to now, this is just something that I picked out, and this was early on in the game, around 6 minutes, yeah. So they had a chance just before this with Rudiger where he switched to play, and this is just a minute or so later. So I just want to highlight here in terms of where the ball is. So we highlight Barkley in here. Yeah, David Luiz in the left back area. He's came across into a back three there to play out, and Barkley took up this role on the left-hand side. Okay, and when he's gone out to the left now, it's allowed Alonso to go and play in front of him. So Alonso's gone from this area in here, right the way down, and Barkley's came out of this area in here to go out wide. And what that's allowed to happen is, it's allowed Hazard now to come in from this position, in off the line, and as I said before, playing in between Coleman and Keane, who's out of the picture here, which causes major problems. So it was a sort of rotation, which is fantastic from Sarri's team in terms of Liverpool didn't really do that, and it was sort of predictable, whereas Chelsea had loads of answers to our 4-4-2 mid-press. So as Barkley comes to this area here, RICHARLISON goes over and Guy backs him up in here. But the problem you've got is Coleman he's too far over and he's too occupied out thinking about the pass is going to go into Alonso. Yeah. Barkley's clever, he's not going to do that, and what he does is now he does like a little chip ball into here, into Hazard, and now we've got problems because now he's broken this line here and he's broken this line now with Gomez is, and now Coleman can't recover. So on the second picture now, Hazard lets the ball roll into Higuain, as he always does, carries on his run, receives the ball back in this picture, which obviously he cuts back inside, and I think on this is one that hits the side netting potentially, where he's cut inside. So in the early stages, this was a massive area of terms of where Everton needs to shore it up, because if this would have gone on for the whole game, they definitely would have scored. And you know, RICHARLISON was protecting as much as he could, but the long ball from Rudiger in the first one, which went from here to here, bypassed RICHARLISON, and he got in off a cushioned ball by Alonso into Hazard again. So sort of the same move, but as the game went on, we stopped going out into these wide areas and we got Coleman to tuck in a lot more and let RICHARLISON do that instead, so keep our back four intact and prevent these spaces in here.
Excellent.
Happy with that?
Yeah, let's go.
So we said the first half, people falling asleep, weren't they? So that on the left hand side that's the shots that we had in the first half, with one on target. Final third passes, 28 attempted, only 14 completed. Okay.
There was a lot of sloppy passing though. It wasn't just, I know you're saying the final third.
Yeah, overall build up.
It was just second ball and just wayward passes and just even short passes into feet. It was like we just suddenly forgot how to do it. It was just bizarre, and it wasn't just boring to watch. It was shit. Yeah. It was depressing to see. It's like, well, hang on, we've seen this team pass teams off the pitch in games, and in certain halves. We haven't done it for the full 90 minutes yet. Yeah. But we've seen this team do well and pass, but then we've also seen the ugly side of the Everton side. Yeah. Where passes go astray, 5-yard passes into feet just goes into touch. It's weird how this Everton side this works. Yeah. It's so strange.
And I think that's been something the whole season in terms of spoke about this in terms of Everton at home playing the first half. I can't remember a first half we've gone in playing amazingly and gone in leading.
No, not this season. No.
We've gone in maybe playing 1-2 good first halves, gone in 0-0, but the weekend was poor. We've had very low amount of shots. And obviously Marco Silva at half-time would have been obviously rollicking them, saying, listen, we're giving these too much respect here, we need to go out, we need to go and get at them, really press them high, get in their faces and improve our quality in the final third. And from that, we've gone and done that. Yeah. And we've had 15 shots then overall, 2 goals with 8 on target, with a massive increase now. And look at that, the chances that we've had in there. And again, it's no surprise, we go from 28 there now up to 79 completed in that half. So 48 out of 79 in the final third. So, a lot more emphasis on getting bodies in the box, but the build-up play into Calvert-Lewin, the build-up play down the side to Coleman, a lot better. Yeah. So this is what happened. So they obviously pressed us really high at the start and stopped us from playing, and that boils down to the wayward passes and the 15-20 yard passes that we were having to make because of their pressing with Kante and Higuain. After the first half, I don't know what had happened. It's like Sarri said, okay, we'll sit off them now, we'll let them have the ball, and we'll sit in sort of a deep block. So he thought about the first half, the pressing from up here, and really putting these two now under pressure. But now to the second half, they've dropped off. They're just outside the halfway line. Higuain's in here. No sign of Kante. Barkley's been drawn out of this position in here because Garner's played the ball back, so we've drawn him out, and Hazard's in the wide area in there, and he's really tucked in. But it's allowing us now to play out, and whether that was down to Sarri saying, listen, we're not scoring the goal here, let them come on to us a little bit, let them come out, let them play, and then we can try and maybe break with Hazard and then get through the 1v1 with Keane. I don't know. It was a weird one for me, and how they set up the second half.
Do you think it might be down to fatigue as well with Chelsea? Because I mean, I'm not going to say because they barely got out of first gear in the first half, but
yeah,
you watched that second half and it was like almost a bit of a role reversal. It was, like,
it was, yeah.
They seemed lethargic.
Yeah.
They didn't, like you're saying, they didn't press as deep as high as they did at all, and it was like they could have easily done that for the opening 10 minutes of the second half,
yeah,
and killed the game off, because we probably wouldn't have had to come back to that.
No, and it's a weird one. Obviously Everton have upped their game, but in terms of this here, I don't know whether it's a tactical plan to, let's say, get Hazard more space where we give the ball away and he can attack in the spaces in behind, or whether it's simply, you know, a poor half-time team talk where the players don't actually understand the roles and don't understand the pressing mechanisms now of to press these players. Because Barkley's came out of this position and he's came into it, but he's not done with no emphasis and no intensity. He's just jogged out.
Yeah.
He's staying still now, which now has allowed the pass to go from here into the wide area where Coleman is, easily. And as it's gone out wide, you can see Richarlison has gone in here and he's came in off the line in there, which has caused problems now, because Chelsea's back four is 1, 2, 3 and 4 with Alonso, and Alonso would normally be in this space, but because Richarlison's tucked in and Coleman's kept the width, he's in sort of no man's land because Hazard can't track him. He's got a decision to make. For me, he has to stay there. He has to, and he doesn't. He gambles and thinks he can come and get the ball, and he doesn't. Yeah. Sigurdsson's came into the hole with a high to low movement from coming from in here to in there, and Richarlison's gone from in here to inside. So as he commits now, it's game over, because he's facing obviously his own goal, but now Coleman's on the move, and as he's played the ball into there, he's now on the move in behind, and look at the space now, because obviously David Luiz is narrow. The ball goes in behind, and now we've got a race on, and from that we actually get the corner.
Yeah.
From that. So, but it's all down to this press, because if these presses high up here, this chance doesn't occur for me.
Yeah. And that seemed to be the story of the second half, wasn't it? Because Coleman had a lot of good luck down that right hand side.
He did. He put
same with Richarlison.
Yeah.
Didn't he?
100%. So as you go on from that now, we go on to the first goal. Now, we've all said all season how poor our corners have been, haven't we, in terms of, you know, just whipping the ball in, not even beating the first man in terms of this area here. But this is a really thought out goal, it's fantastic. And if I highlight here now, I want to highlight Bernard, and he's just off this post, he's come from this position. So what's happened is he's come from here and he's ran across, and this is what's going to initiate now what you call a trigger. So he comes from here, he comes across Barkley, and then Kepa tells Barkley he's going to go for the short ball. He's not, it's the trigger for Sigurdsson. So as he comes out of here now, Barkley then gets dragged away to go with him, has to go with him, yeah? This now initiates these two in here, okay? And he's picked up Calvert-Lewin, and we have Gomez, who plays a massive key just in here. So now these players in here are going to have to go with these runners, these 1, 2 in here. So as he makes his run, Richarlison makes his run in here to the near post, they have to go with him. That's where you think the ball's going to go. And Keane now again attacking this near post area, and again is picked up in here. We highlight Gomez, instrumental in this now, because he's acting as a blocker. He's got no intention of winning the header, he's got no intention of moving. Yeah. And as that ball comes over, his job is just to block the run of Rudiger in terms of getting his head on it, or even backpedaling into this area here to win the header in this area. That's his job, and you can see him now, he's forcing him away, he's forcing him forward there so he can't get into this area. And as he does that now, you've highlighted Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and what he does is he stays out of sight, out of David Luiz, so we can't see him. He stays on the blind side and stays behind. So as this now, these make the run, the space is created in here. Gomez stops him from coming, and at the last second now the ball's coming in, Calvert-Lewin steals in front of David Luiz, and he's quicker and gets the header on for the header on goal, and then we score from it.
Yeah.
And that's how that worked.
Easy as that, eh?
But it was just picking it out, and it's a well thought, that's a training ground move.
It's brilliant.
But it comes from Bernard's movements. If he doesn't have that movement in there to take these away, then these don't move and they stay still. But it's that to move them. These then have the trigger to move across. He blocks, he runs in, and then lastly steals it on David Luiz for the goal.
Yeah. You've got to look at Calvert-Lewin as well, because leading, as we were saying earlier on, leading the line on his own, that's a cracking header.
It's a great header.
It was unlucky not to score. It was a great save from Kepa and great reaction from Richarlison. But that header from Calvert-Lewin as well is excellent.
He's met it, hasn't he, really well. And David Luiz, everyone says he's got faults, but at the end of the day, he is a world-class defender. So to get in front of him there and win the header, it's fantastic, and it shows how much he's came on in the last few months. And that's it. So that's all I've got.
Yeah. So game finished 2-0. Which none of us saw.
No.
None of us saw that coming in the second once the second half started at all. Man of the match.
Well, statistically, in terms of man of the matches, when you bring off statistics, there's obviously like a team of the week based on stats. So some players get in from other teams or whatever, but actually in team of the week, Coleman and Richarlison both got in based on their stats. But there's a number of players that you could pick out. The defence was fantastic. I think you've got to look at Coleman. Coleman's involved in both goals.
Yeah.
Richarlison is involved in both goals. He actually wins the throw-in for the second goal by closing down, and it ricochets, comes off him. Coleman takes the throw-in, but the move comes from Richarlison's movement to take the defender away, takes Jorginho away, and he throw it in behind. Sigurdsson flicks it round the corner, Coleman gets in, gets fouled, and then from that Richarlison gets his foot in and goes over the penalty. So both of them involved in both goals. It's no surprise that both of them are highlighted for the man of the match award. But again, you can't look, like you said, like past Calvert-Lewin, because he was fantastic in that second half.
What about this fella then? Stop taking penalties. I think everyone seemed to know that he wasn't going to score that penalty.
He looked nervous, didn't he? I think it was such a surprise for everyone that we've got a penalty to go 1-0 up, and I think that has a massive impact in terms of the pressure on him now. He knows that if he doesn't score, that's probably going to lose Everton's momentum after starting so greatly in the first 4 or 5 minutes. So the pressure is definitely on at 0-0. If it's 2 or 3-0, then maybe it's less so. But glad to see 10 as well. And he didn't look for me. He didn't look comfortable taking that penalty.
He seemed to look at the keeper and then look to the keeper's right as he was doing it. It's like you
told him where he's going.
Yeah, basically has, hasn't he? So for me now, I think he's got to come off penalties. I think it's the third. He's the only player to miss 3 penalties.
Yeah, all at home as well, haven't he?
At home
as well, yeah.
for Everton. In God knows how long, including Baines and Unsworth. Ferguson as well, even when he was taking penalties. Give it to Luca Dean.
Yeah, I think that's a great shout. None of us have ever seen him take a penalty. Could be absolutely dreadful, but you're looking at the left foot that he's got.
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to have the same kind of run up as Richarlison's going to have in a penalty.
Yeah, I think he's going to run up and he's going to tonk it, isn't he?
I think Sigurdsson is now going to take that side step.
Yeah.
Luca Dean. I can't see anyone else.
The only other person I put in that category, but again,
maybe even Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, I'd probably say Gomez. Just for his cleverness, I think he'd tap it into the net.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Luca Dean has got to be the one in terms of his left foot that he's got. But it's all about, Silva will know on the training ground. They'll do it all the time, won't they, at the end of sessions, and he'll know who the better players are. But yeah, I think it is definitely time for someone else. But I'm guessing from that, Calvert-Lewin is definitely putting his hand up to take a penalty.
I think so, definitely. Right, so hopefully you've enjoyed all that. I know I have. Callum, amazing insight as usual, mate. Love having you on the show. Really, really do.
Nice one.
You're better looking than Paul as well. Sorry, mate. Sorry. But yeah, wrap it up, I suppose. Really,
I think that was something a bit different, wasn't it? And hopefully, it comes across well.
Yeah.
Broken down, and like you said, it is hard in terms of analysing the game and watching it back. But when you do watch it back and you do pick up on them points, it's great to see that. Silva is really trying to implement things on the training ground and the way that we play, but also even things down to set pieces. I think set pieces, they're massively important because they'll get you an extra 8, 9, 10 goals a season. So there was specific movements in that for that goal, and it was great that obviously we pulled it off after so many of corners where they've been poor and been cleared by the first man, and it was a really good corner and well done as well by Sigurdsson. But I think obviously penalty miss, we get the rebound, that goes in, you know, celebrations after that, you know, were fantastic, and it really gave us then momentum. It was more of a shock to Chelsea, because Chelsea were like, we've been, you know, on front foot here for the whole game, we probably should be 2-0 up. You know, for that goal to go in gave us hope, it gave us more intensity in the pressing, and from that, you know, Chelsea were a bit like stifled by it. Like, they had to come on to attack. And I think by them coming on top was a little bit more and taking more risks. It gave space to Richarlison and Coleman to really, you know, counteract that and get forward. You know, second half from them, you know, it was fantastic.
Yeah, I think the main thing for Everton now is to do it for 90 minutes. Do you know what I mean? You know, first half at Newcastle, second half at Chelsea. Hopefully West Ham coming up, we've got a nice little break now. Hopefully in between that now we've got a chance to recharge and just come out all guns blazing against West Ham.
Yeah, it's going to be a tricky one, isn't it? Because West Ham are one of them teams like ourselves at the moment, you know, they're playing the big teams, getting results, and then they're playing the weekend teams, like, you know, they got beat the weekend.
But they had a great result though in the end, 4-3, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, when you watch that game back, I think, fucking hell, who's the home side here, you know? But West Ham came out again. I feel like Everton came out and just all guns blazing in the second half and done what they needed to do.
And I think that's, like you said there, is the main thing now, is Everton getting consistency. I don't think we're going to see massive consistency until probably next season. When we've got all the players that Silva wants, all the players who wants to let go. But I think we need to see that now. Because we've had good performance against Liverpool and we've got a draw. We've just beaten Chelsea, but then we've led 2 goals needlessly at Newcastle, and we need to cut out them. Not like we said before, against Newcastle game, it's just silly errors, but when we're making them errors, we are getting punished. And I think at the weekend we were a bit lucky in terms of, you know, Pippen made some great saves. They weren't as good in goals as they should have been. But, you know, we came back and we won the game. So we can take that momentum now for the rest of the season, keep the same team maybe. Me and them might stay in. And I think, you know, you've got to give Calvert-Lewin now as much time on top as he can. I think Tosin's probably going to leave. He said he's becoming a little bit unhappy now, and, you know, he wants to be playing it, and you can see why. But I think Calvert-Lewin, I think if you give him time, I think he can be a really strong centre forward.
It's difficult to not put him in the side, isn't it? At the moment he's making a stake, taking a claim for himself every game he's playing now. Even if he doesn't get on the score sheet, he's making a menace of himself.
100%. I just think he needs to be a bit more nasty. I think the whole team do. I think we're too nice. I think we're more nasty. We don't get beat last weekend. But I think
we lack that leader to give us that nasty streak, to give us that, you know, well, hang on, he's got my back all the time here, whatever happens, and we've got I don't think we've got anyone on the pitch who's willing to do that. Coleman aside, Pickford, but they're not going to, you know, I think Coleman, even when he's captain sometimes, is a little quiet.
I think when you have a captain, you look at, you know, the Premier League in terms of great captains, you've always naturally been, you know, either centre-backs or central midfielders. Look at like the Blakes Keane, Vieira, great leaders, and I think even like when we had Phil Neville, wasn't technically very good on the ball, but he gave it everything in terms of captaincy and the organised teams, and there was no way, you know, 9 times out of 10 he'd be winning the game 2-0 and lose 3-2. And I think that's something that Browns will be looking to incorporate in the summer in terms of getting a real leader with the money they've got to spend.
Yeah, definitely. I think with a lot of the players going out as well will give us that money. Give us a bit of a transfer kitty, but it's who's going. But okay, that wraps it up. So Everton 2, Chelsea 0. Fucking hell, we never saw that coming, did we? So we'll catch up with you before the West Ham game. We've got a nice little break in the meantime. Callum, you join us after the West Ham game as well?
Yeah, I'll be there. Thanks for listening, guys, and let us know any feedback.
Yeah, definitely. Callum, if you want to give you a shout on Twitter or anything like that?
Yeah, just holler at me, Wyatt_C10, and ask me anything that you want, whatever, so it'd be nice.
I'm sure, well, what we'll do is we'll try and put all these online as well, all the screenshots and whatever. You can do that?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
But yeah, we hope you've enjoyed it. Comment down below just to tell us what you think, you know, if you want to change anything.
Paul not have me back.
No, we'll have you back, mate, don't worry. If Paul's not here, I'm not doing this on my own. Till then, we'll catch you in a bit. Up the fucking toffees.